Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. Hello, we are in episode 90, Unlearning the I Can Do It All mentality. And I'm very honored to have a very special guest, Dr. Nicole Washington, psychiatrist and chief medical officer of Alosin Psychiatric Services. So another fellow psychiatrist and another fellow chief medical officer. So awesome to have you. Thank you. Welcome. Are you there?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, there you are. It was a little bit of delay there. No problem.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us more about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I am Dr. Nicole Washington. I am a board certified in Tulsa, Oklahoma area, but am licensed all across the country and take care of people all across the country. I take care of we take care of a lot of the same people, those busy Black boss women out here who are killing themselves, trying to do it all, trying to do everything by themselves.
Do you feel like you're part of that you're killing yourself too? Or you feel like you figured it out?
I used to. No, I used to. I used to really, really push it. It was unnecessary the way that I was pushing it. But I am in recovery. I am in recovery from having to do everything.
There it is. Well, that's why we're here, because hopefully we done figured something out to teach our listeners about how to not burn out, how to not stress out and be overwhelmed, because we just feel like we got to do it all, or that we have to do it,
Yes.
or maybe we do have to. We're wife mom bosses, so maybe that's the case.
We don't have to. No, I'm not claiming that. We do not have to.
There it is. Dr. Nicole is here to say that we do not have
absolutely
to do it all. All right. Well, let's just jump right in, because why do so many of us women feel like, especially the high achievers? I mean, we high achievers just doing all the things.
Yeah.
Why do we fall into this I can do it all mindset?
Yeah, we are the presidents of Team Too Much. We just do not know. We don't know how to sit down. We don't know how to not do everything. Some of it is our moms. I mean, some of us had moms who seemingly did everything, right? They worked and still came home and took care of all the household things. Most of us probably had traditional fathers in the home where they went to work and then came home and rested. And our moms were the ones taking care of all the laundry and the cleaning and the cooking and the grocery shopping and the running the kids and all the stuff. And so we just thought, oh, well, that's how it goes. Like that's my lot in life. Like that's what you do. You work yourself to death during the day, and then you come home and you work yourself to death again, and then maybe you get some sleep, and then you do it all again the next day, and you don't complain about it, but it's what you do.
Exactly. You know what I was looking at? I don't know if you're Christian, but the Proverbs 31 woman. What do you think about that? Because she can do it all, and she's doing it with grace, and she's a wife, she's a mom, she's a boss, she's a leader, she's doing everything. What do you think about that? Because if we're looking at scripture, if that's what we believe, we're just like, oh yeah, that's what we want to do. And everybody strives to be a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes, but I just don't know why I can't be both, right? Like, why can I not take a nap and be that woman? Like, why can I not take a nap? Why can I not rest? Because I also believe that woman probably still did rest. She had her 7. That woman still rested. She absolutely rested, but she also was not working 40 hours a week for somebody else, and she was also not having to do all those other things. I mean, that is the reality. And I do often hear women tell me, well, my mom was a stay-at-home mom and she seemed to do everything, and I just feel like I can't live up to that. And it's like, no, you can't, because you didn't have the same setup. You didn't have the same life.
Yeah.
Like, you're comparing yourself to somebody that you will never be able to live up to, not in that way. You
Right.
have other ways that
Yeah.
you're gonna shine.
Yeah, the stay-at-home moms, they don't have to worry about, like, the work and bringing in the money, but they're still doing a lot,
Oh,
and
they're
then the
doing a
moms who
ton.
are
Well, they're
working are doing a
yes,
lot because they're doing the stay-at-home duties plus bringing in the
plus.
money, but not as
No,
much
no, no,
stay-at-home duties.
no. Believe me when I tell you, I think that being a stay-at-home mom is probably one of the hardest jobs there is to have, because those moms don't get any time off. Like, they're
Okay.
on their job 24/7. There's no PTO, there are no sick days, there's no, "Oh, I have a headache today, I'm not going in." That's not how any of this works. Like, you're expected to perform and function in that role 24/7. But as a stay-at-home mom, it does put forth the, oh, my mom takes care of everything. Like, that's what the mom does. The mom takes care of
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
because
And
the
don't let the kids
stay-at-home
be
mom is the house
homeschooled.
manager, and she's the, like, yes, like, she's the teacher, she's the house manager, she's the everything, she's the chauffeur, she's the organizer of the schedules, like, she does it all, and you can get into your head like, "Oh, I'm supposed to do it all because that's what moms do," but you don't realize, like, I'm in a different setup, like, my life is not quite the same as my stay-at-home mom, right? Like, I have a job, as a physician or as any busy professional, you're an attorney, you're in the
Mhm.
C-suite, you're doing whatever, you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur,
Mhm.
you are working 40 plus hours a week doing
Mhm.
something else for somebody else, and then you turn around and still have those same duties popping you in the face. So you cannot be everything that your stay-at-home mom was, because it's
Mhm.
unrealistic. It just sets you up for failure.
Unrealistic. Yeah, so some of us say that like having our plate full, we can be our best because that makes them more organized and being busy works for them. So how can we tell the difference between being busy but being truly overwhelmed and burnt out? Because that's a difference.
No, it is a difference, and it's a fine line for us because so many of us feel like we need to always be doing something, but I think you
Mhm.
have to explore all of that. Like, that's where the mental health treatment comes in. That's where the
Yeah.
therapy comes in. That's where it all kind of separates itself out and you can figure out what's going on. Being busy is one thing.
Yeah.
Not allowing yourself to rest because you feel like that's a waste of time and it's not
Mhm.
productive, that's a different thing. Right? Because some of us think, well, I'm not doing anything. Like, if I take a nap or if I take a night off or if I take a weekend where I'm not doing any of that stuff, I feel like I'm not being productive and I'm just being lazy. And I'm like, baby girl, rest is a verb. It's an action word. It is an action word. It is a verb. It is not you doing nothing. Like, resting is a thing that we all need to be doing. So I do think we have to figure out the whole, like, okay, busy, productive, resting, like, where does it
Mhm.
all fit together? But we feel like we need to be doing stuff 24/7 or we're not, if I'm not making money, then what am I doing? If
Mhm.
I can't see the product, if I can't see the end product of all of my effort, what am I doing? And I just think
Yeah.
that's dangerous.
Oh gosh, it is. And I know I've done that. Even maternity leave where I'm supposed to not be working and it's like 12 weeks. Like 12 weeks is great, but sometimes it's too short. But I remember my last maternity leave at the 8-week mark. I was just like, I got to do something. What I don't know about this extra 4 weeks. What's going on? And that's when I started my small business and was thinking about the podcast. I'm like, really? Really?
You couldn't even take that time with your little sweet baby. You out here like, what can I get done while the baby's sleep? I could be getting this done, or you could have been resting and resting your body, right? Because you just grew a whole human
Right.
and you did what you did. I mean, but I'm not the one to knock you. I mean, I think I don't know if I told this story when
Mhm.
we were at the event that we were at, but
Mhm.
like, I gave birth as a medical student, I gave birth as a
Mhm.
resident. My
Mm.
medical student experience was amazing. Like, my med school was great. I ended up taking like 3 months off. But my child was premature. I had a kid at 32 weeks. Like, he was in the
Mm.
NICU for a month. So I needed that
Mm.
time. My school was supportive of that time. I still marched with my class. Like, it was, I mean,
Mm.
they did everything they could to make this work
Yeah.
for me. And it was great. And I was very appreciative of that. As a resident, fast forward 4 years,
Nope.
and I'm a resident. and I'm
Mhm.
in training.
Mhm.
And the last month that I was going to have, my last month was an inpatient psychiatric hospital month. I took
Mhm.
call every other night for the first 11 nights because my male counterparts who I was on service with
Mhm.
were a little gripey about having to
Ooh.
take extra call.
Yeah.
So I took the every other night call. It wasn't in-house. It wasn't like I was sleeping at the hospital. It
Okay.
wasn't that. But it was just the fact that I was having to be there late. Here I am literally about to pop. Like I'm huge
Oh, God.
and miserable, but I'm doing this to accommodate the other people on service, right? Because I didn't want them to think that I was slacking or lazy or, oh, here she's having a baby and now she can't work. And so
Yeah.
I took call. I took my call for the month because heaven forbid somebody had to take an extra shift to call. You know how it gets with the schedule and stuff. So
Yeah.
I did it. And then I had complications after my baby.
Mm.
And I ended up a week postpartum, 20 something years old with a pacemaker put in.
Ah, yes, you
And here
did
I
tell me
was.
that.
Yeah, so here I was, a week postpartum. I got this pacemaker put in,
Oh.
and I'm like due to return to residency. So I had my kid January 13th, pacemaker put in January 20th. February 1st, I was supposed to be back at least in person 2 half days a week for academic sessions and for my continuity clinic with my
Mhm.
patients. But the ridiculousness of the fact that here I was walking around with a sling on because my pacemaker wires hadn't even set in yet. And I'm just walking around like trying to see patients. I'm
Still
still a whole
working.
mess. Yes, I'm a whole mess. I'm having panic attacks because I was like, all of a sudden, like, oh
Oh.
God, what if my heart stops? And what if I'm holding my baby? And what if we both
Mhm.
die? And what if I kill her? And I mean, like all the negative, ridiculous, anxious thoughts. A- And here I was, like, nobody ever said, hey, why don't you rest
Mm.
and sit
So
down?
nobody
And
said it.
it's the systems because I feel like, yes, we need to be saying, "Yeah, I need to rest." Like, "No, you're not gonna overwork me. I just had a kid. Like, I need to sit
Mhm.
down." But the
Right.
systems also need to say, like, "Sit
It
down.
wasn't there
Like,
for
for
you.
real. Sit down." Now you were working for yourself, so you were like, "Let me see what I can do to get my own stuff together
Yeah, that
in
was
this."
different. You
Yeah,
up in
that was a little bit different.
residency. So it sounds
Yeah.
like there was a couple things there. The residence made you feel some kind of way, so there's that guilt, but also the program didn't really help you, right? Or would they have given you the
Oh,
time if you were like, "Screw that, screw them
well,
residents," you
I
know?
think this is the thing. I don't think I was in a malignant program.
Okay.
I really enjoyed my training program. I really felt good about my program director. I felt good about the department chair. I felt good about my attendings. Like I really had, by and large, a really great resident experience. I think this is more a reflection of the system. This is more of a reflection of that being a time where we honestly were not thinking about like physicians' mental
Yeah.
health or
Yeah.
w- or the mental health of professionals. We just weren't thinking about us. It was like, no, you work yourself to death. I mean, we've all heard
Yeah.
these stories about
Yeah.
like you hear these stories in medicine. It sounds crazy to other people, but you hear these stories about doctors who are in the hospital that they work at, and they
Mhm.
like had their appendix out on Tuesday, and
They can't.
Wednesday they're down in the meeting with the IV pole and the hospital gown,
That was you for sure.
checking in to make sure everything's good. Like that's not to be admired. Like that is we
Mm-mm.
look at it in inside internally. It's like, wow, he's a badass. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
I
like
do
he
too.
yeah, like he is really serious. But then really, we should be like, "Oh, no, that's crazy. Like, go lay down. You literally just had your appendix. You just had surgery. Just had your body opened
Right.
up. Go lay down." But we don't do that.
Yeah, like, "Oh, I can do it all. This is great. I'm amazing," but then at what expense? And you are literally the definition of what Beyoncé said in that song, "Girls who bear their children and get back to business," because you really
Yeah.
was doing it. Even though you were having a pacemaker and everything, you were back to business.
Yes. I was back to business. I was like, "Oh, okay. So I'm going back 2 half days a week, and then I'm doing research the rest of the time. I can do that. Yeah. I can do that." It just never occurred to me not to because the system conditioned
Mhm.
me to not ever consider not to. The system never
System.
talked about taking care of yourself and your mental health. I mean, I don't know when went through school, but I don't ever remember talking about like mental health. I can't say that. We had a stress we had a like stress management course that
Wellness
was
or
run by
whatever.
the second year. So as a first year, you took a stress management course and your leaders were some second years. But we were literally the blind leading the blind, right? Because we didn't
Yeah.
know anything about managing our stress. And here we are
Mm-mm.
supposed to help some first
Especially
years work
second
through.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what do we know? So it was a little but I mean they had something, but there just wasn't a lot of talk about self-care and it just
No.
wasn't. It just
And
wasn't
there was
there.
a certain point where the residents, they said, well, you have to work only 80 hours a week, where they
Yeah.
started to limit it. But even
Yeah.
80 hours a week, what? That's a
No.
lot.
It is a lot, and I think it's worse for us, right? So Black women in medicine, really in any field, Black women, you're whatever field you're in, the higher you get up there,
Yep.
the worse this becomes. But we have that, I have to work twice as hard. I have to be twice as good just to get the same amount of respect. I have to
Yep.
really like grind myself into the ground just to be seen. And and that's ridiculous. I mean, it is
Uh,
ridiculous that we have been put through that
yeah.
kind of all these years. And I think in recent, weeks where we saw that one political commentator make the statement about if he sees a Black woman surgeon walk in a room, he assumes she's a DEI hire. He
Mhm.
assumes that. I think for a lot of us, we were like,
Mhm.
absolutely, you do. That's
Yeah.
why we out here busting our butt now because of people that think like you. But at the end of the day, I'm busting my butt and you still think like that. So I could maybe take a break. I can go take that nap because you gonna
Just
believe
might
what
as well
you
take
want to.
the nap.
Right.
Exactly. You don't
At
think I'm
the
some
end
kind
of
of
the
way.
day.
It's always gonna be, I'm just not doing enough.
Yeah. Like you could work 120 hours a week and they're gonna say, but you didn't smile when you did it. When I said hello to you, you didn't make eye contact with me and you didn't smile. When we invited you to happy hour, you didn't show up. When
Mhm.
you didn't seem like you want to be here. It's just a lot.
It sure is. So we're talking about a lot here. There's a lot to undo and a lot to unlearn. We talked about our generational. There's something there like, oh, mom did it, so let me do it. Then there's the system that you mentioned. The system puts us pressure, and then of course, as a Black woman, there's extra system on top of that.
Mhm.
So what is a powerful mindset? Maybe a few different types of mindset shifts that we need to make that can help us break free from feeling like we have to do it all.
Well, I mean, I one of the biggest things is I think it comes down to the fact that we can't. So
Mm,
we will always feel like a failure if we
yeah.
expect the unrealistic from ourselves. So
Mm,
if I
mm.
say, "Oh, I'm going to start working out and my goal is to be able to lift my car," I'm never going to be able to lift my car. So I'm always going to fail. I'm never going to reach my goal. I'm always going to feel bad about myself. I'm always going to feel like I'm not strong enough. I didn't work out hard enough. I didn't do enough. Maybe it's my diet. Girl, you were never going to lift that car ever.
Never gonna happen.
So I think we have to shift the whole like, is my expectation of myself realistic? And if
Exactly.
it's not, you will always feel like a failure. You will
Wow.
100% never, you will never meet your expectation if your expectation for yourself is unrealistic.
Oh, that's real good. Examine your expectations, because a lot of
Yes.
times we are thinking too high and it's just like, no, you can't do that. You really aren't a superwoman, even though it feels good. So my
Right.
big sister, she used to always say, oh, you superwoman. I'm like, oh yes, thank you. I can do it all. But it's just
Yeah.
like, no, but I can't.
No, I can't. And I don't want to. Like, how about that? Like, not only can I not, but I don't even want to do it all. But that's the whole, like, oh, I don't know. That's the big one for me. Like the biggest one is the whole I need to, reset my expectations. So we talk about level setting our expectations. That is the big one. Like I will forever disappoint myself if I give myself unrealistic expectations. And we don't do it to other people. So
Expect that. Yeah.
we can tell our friends, girl, you can't do all of that. What make you think you can do this and this and that, and you doing this and you doing that, and you are working all week, and then the kids are in their extracurricular activities, and then you trying to do Jack and Jill, and you in your sorority, and you are doing this, and the kid has this, and you trying to go to the school events, and like you trying
Say
to
it.
do too much. You're right. We tell other people that, but then for us, we
Okay.
like, but nah, that's not for me. That's not for me.
Right.
That's for somebody else. That's not for me.
Oh, yes, that is something else. We put it on other people.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you shouldn't do all that to yourself, but then we do it to ourselves. I think the other shift
Mhm.
comes, it is part of that setting the expectation and knowing what's possible. I do think we have to remember, and I remind myself, I have a sticky note that says there are only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So there's only 24 hours in a day,
Mhm.
and you only have 100% of yourself to give.
Oh,
That's it. That's all you have is 100%. Like, that's all you have.
nothing
So
more.
for everything that I say yes to, that means I'm pulling percent away from something else,
Yep.
right? I'm pulling it away. It has to come from somewhere. You only have 100%. So
Yeah.
if I take on this, and if I'm always saying, yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah, I can add that. I can do that. It's 100% accurate. Like, people say, well, I can do it all. You can do it all, but can you do it all well? Or can
Mhm.
you do it all to a level that you're proud of the end product? Can you
Mhm.
do it in a way that makes you proud of how you showed up? And the answer
Exactly.
often is no, because we say, oh, I can do this, I can do that. You can, but you're pulling from something else. So what are you pulling from? Am I pulling from the time I could be spending with my children? Am I pulling from the time I could be spending with my husband? Am
Yeah.
I pulling from the time that I could be working out, or meal prepping, or
Yep.
doing all those things that I say I want to do? I'm Christian, and my faith walk is important to me. Am I pulling it from the time that I say I'm gonna dedicate reading my Bible every day?
Yep.
Am I pulling it from a prayer time? Am I pulling it from checking in on grandmama because I hadn't talked to her in a while because I've been too busy? And where
Mhm.
am I pulling it from? Because it's coming from
Ooh.
somewhere.
Ooh, I'm hearing you, Dr. Nicole. I'm so hearing you because I noticed that the busier I get, my husband's looking at me like, okay, what about the family? You gonna pencil us in? And I was started doing a lot of these mental health fairs and brunches and stuff. I said, okay, let me scale back because I need
Yes.
some weekends for the family. I hear you, husband. In the spiritual life, I noticed that's starting to take more of a backseat ever since
Yeah.
college, really. So it's been a
Yeah.
long time where I've just
Yeah.
never sat down with the Bible. So that's
Yeah.
something that I'm definitely going to start to prioritize.
Yeah. And that's been one of my goals that I have set for myself. Now, because I do often, like you say, you get busy, and that's the thing that you let go because you're like, I'm too tired. If I start trying to read right now, I'm gonna fall asleep right here in this
Yep.
book.
Yep.
If I get on my knees to pray, I might fall asleep on the side of the bed because I have gotten on my I have been there. But I
You
just
started the
think
prayer.
we just have to. Right. Right. All I can say is, Jesus knows my heart. Like, he knows my heart. He knows my heart. But I do think we have to really look at, what am I pulling away from? So for every yes, you're taking away from something else. And that means that you probably have some other things that you're not going to do as well, or as wholeheartedly, or to the level of product that you would like to put out. And then what does that do? Then you start feeling like a failure again, and you start feeling like, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm doing all these things, but I feel like I'm not doing any of them well. Well, you're not, because it's too many. Like, it's 24 hours in a day. You only have 100% of yourself to give, but you've committed yourself to something that would require you to have much more.
Mhm.
I mean, we have to, like, our yeses should be very strategic.
Yeah, yeah. If I can't do it now, can I do it later? And maybe I don't
Yeah.
have to do that thing at all.
Yeah, yeah. And I do think when we, learning how to say no, we talk about that all the time. Like, we don't say no because we're like, well, if I say no, then that might make me look like I'm being angry, right? I'm that oppositional, not team
Yep.
player black woman. So I gotta say
Gotta be
yes.
assertive. That's
Yeah, like, I
right.
gotta I gotta go ahead and say yes, because then they gonna think I'm being lazy, or I don't want to do my part. But then you look up and you end up serving on 50,000 committees. You
Mm-mm.
working on all these work groups, like, you get nominated for all kinds of things because they like,
Because
oh,
they know you gonna do the work.
Dr. Amina always gonna say yes. Let me go to her
Oh,
every time.
no.
Meanwhile, your male colleagues are like, no, No, I can't do that. No, sorry. My plate's full. I don't have
They
time for
know to
that.
say no. So,
Yeah.
like, I ask this question a lot, especially as I'm focused on our high achievers, our wife by bosses. I'm gonna ask it again to you because I want to know your answer. So, how can us working moms and leaders set boundaries without feeling guilty or like we're letting people down? Just along the lines of what you're talking about. How can we take that step
Yes.
forward?
It is hard not to feel guilty, especially when it's good causes.
Yeah.
When it's good stuff and you're like, "Oh, that would be I think I would enjoy that. I think that would be great."
Hmm.
But it just might be that everything sounds great. And you
Yeah.
still have to think about the pie, and you have to think about what am I giving myself to, and you have to think of the priorities of things. What are those things that are higher in priority? Because a lot of times we say that there are things that are more important to us, but if you look at our time, that's not true. So we say that our families are more
Mm-hmm.
important, our kids are more important, my relationship with my husband is more important, my relationship with God is the most important. But if you look at the percentages of time and the amount of time that we're giving, it doesn't all add up. It doesn't
Yeah.
always add up. And
Yeah.
it's so I do think, when that guilt sets in, we do have to sit down, pen to paper. Like that's why I keep a paper planner still. Like I literally
Yeah. Good.
I keep one because I like to be able to look at my whole week. And I write all kinds of stuff on there, like call so and so, check in on this person,
Yep.
do all these things. And I need to see those things on there because if I don't, then I can very easily get caught up in the meetings and the schedules and the podcast stuff and the patient
Hmm.
care stuff and the planning stuff. And then, it can just become so overwhelming. And so I think for you to even think about setting a boundary, you even have to
Yeah.
figure out who do I need to set a boundary with? Because
Right.
sometimes it's us. Like we need to set the boundary with
With
ourselves, um,
ourselves. Yes.
because we think we have somehow convinced ourselves that we are so important and so
Yeah.
valuable that like, well, I need to do this because if I don't do this, then this won't happen. Or if I don't do this,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just gonna be that it just don't need to happen.
Well, sometimes I get FOMO. I have this FOMO about I'm supposed to be doing that. Like you mentioned the sorority. I'm mental health, right? So if I see that they're doing something mental health and I'm not involved, I'm just
Mhm.
like, wait, but I'm mental health expert. I'm supposed to be doing that. And I say, no, you don't. There's other mental health
Right.
professionals. They can do it. It's
Exactly.
so weird. The
Exactly.
FOMO.
Exactly. And in that setting, though, I think that's us, right? Because we have always existed in settings where if there was a Black woman doing it, it was probably us because there
Ah,
weren't other Black people that were doing it. So when you were, when I was a resident, there was nobody else Black. So when I was an attending, there was nobody else Black. So if there was a Black
mm,
topic or if there was oh, we want to talk about this Black thing, let's ask Dr. Washington because she's the one to talk about this Black
ah,
thing. And then, in those settings, I think it's good to just recognize like this is a wonderful thing that they have enough Black women available to talk about mental health that I don't have to always be the one. Let me just show up and sit in the audience and go, "Oh, amen, girl, that was good. Let me get a pearl for a change. Let me
yeah.
get a little word of wisdom. Like let me get something. Let me not be the one giving it." That's a good feeling. And so you have to remind yourself that that's a plus.
Yes, I have to do
Cuz these
that.
people have convinced us that we got to be the one.
Yes. Yes, the people, the system, and we convince
Yeah,
ourselves that we
it's
gotta be which you
convinced us,
don't
well,
have
you
to be
have
the
to
one.
do it.
Exactly.
Like, you have to do it. I don't have to do it. My grandma used to say, "I don't have to do nothing but stay Black and die." That's what my grandma used to say. I don't
Well, that's
but my grandma used to
okay.
say. That's what she said. She said, "I don't have to do nothing but stay Black and die."
That's
Those
awesome.
those are the 2 things I have to do. Don't tell me what I have to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, lastly here for our overwhelmed woman, what is one thing that someone can do right now, like the first step, even if it's a small step, that they
Mhm,
can do right now, today, to
mhm,
reclaim their time and energy? Because we all need to
mhm.
reclaim our time and energy.
What can you do right now? You can give yourself 10 minutes before you go to bed
Mm.
for you. 10 minutes. That's not a lot of time. I'm not
Mm-mm.
asking you for 30. I mean, you can build up to that, but I'm asking you for 10 minutes to do whatever. That 10 minutes might be you sitting in silence, doing nothing. That 10 minutes might be you doing a meditation. That
Mhm.
10 minutes might be you coloring in that adult coloring book that you bought 2 years ago that you haven't opened a page on. That could be that, right? That could be you writing in one of the 10 journals that you have on your bookshelf that you have yet to open that you have not used
Just
yet.
10. Yeah, exactly.
That could be you just sitting with that candle that you never burned that you bought,
Mm.
and you probably have 50 of them in the closet, and you don't burn any of them because you don't have time to just sit and burn candles. That might be you burning that candle and reading 10 minutes of a book. You might listen to a song, listen to an artist who you've been wanting to listen to. 10 minutes. That's it.
Oh, that's good.
Just 10 minutes.
That's a real easy, small thing. Even if
It's
you
a
feel
small
like,
thing.
oh, it's already too late, give yourself that 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Like 10 minutes. 10
Thank
minutes.
you.
That's all I'm giving. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
That's good. I'm already thinking about what I can do with those 10 minutes. It's too many things, so I have to narrow it down.
Well, guess what? It's every day. You can alternate. You can
Different
alternate, right?
things.
You can
Different
start
things.
planning out your 10 minutes. You're like, "Ooh, tonight I'm gonna do this. Ooh, tomorrow though, I'm gonna do this."
Hey.
Like, right?
Yeah, and then you'll realize how much it helps that you'll start extending that 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you're like, okay, this is working out. Maybe I can get up in the morning a little earlier and do 30 minutes. So, yeah, that's a good small step to start. Thank you. All right. So, you are on Journey to Joy Live, and I ask all my guests what your personal journey to joy has been like. So, share with us your
Um,
journey to joy.
my personal journey to joy, really came. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I had so many years of joylessness th-
Yeah.
that really for me, I will tell you, this is like 2020. I'm doing locum, so like, doctor temporary travel work, and I'm going to Wyoming
Hmm.
for the month of March of 2020.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to Wyoming
Yeah.
in March of 2020. I'll be there the whole month. And I had already set, like, this gonna be my month. Like, I'm gonna reset some stuff this month because I was gonna be away from my family for an entire
Yeah.
month. I was gonna be in Wyoming in the freezing cold, so I was not gonna be distracted by anything. Like, I was gonna be working, and I was gonna be going right to that hotel, and that's where I was gonna be. And so I said,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna make some changes. And so I started a practice of meditation during
Oh,
that time. And then little did I know
yes,
that the
sir.
world was about to fall apart because it was
Exactly.
March of 2020. I had to,
Right,
I
that's
get
what I'm
there.
waiting for. I'm like,
Yeah, like March 1. I'm like, okay, here I am. I'm in Wyoming. This is great. And then like the world is literally falling apart. And I was like, wow, okay, this is a lot because then again, I'm away from my family. So there's so much uncertainty. And here I am, states away in Wyoming.
yeah.
Which I mean, honestly, there's so few people in Wyoming. Their numbers were so low from a safety standpoint. It's probably
Right,
the best
right, you're
place to
good.
be clinically. But it was just like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? But
Yeah.
having started that practice on March 1st when I got there, really was what helped me continue that,
Mm.
and I continued it. And so there are very few days that go by that I don't meditate now.
Mhm. Mm.
But that practice, those things that I've put in place have allowed me the opportunity to feel at peace
Yeah.
when everything around me is like feeling seemingly chaotic. Like right now,
Yeah.
the world is falling apart around us. There's all this negative news, there's all this bad stuff. And meditation has put me in a space where I haven't felt that. Right. And so for me, when I feel peace, I feel joy.
Mhm.
Like that's
Mm.
my that's
Yeah.
my joy, right? Like I can laugh and have a good time and feel happy, but I can also be stressed and find something to laugh about. But when I can find peace, like
Mm.
for me, when I can find peace, even when things around me are chaotic,
Mhm.
that is where my joy
Yeah,
lies.
that just shows that joy comes from within, and
Yes.
despite everything around us, we have
Yeah.
control based on what we do or
Yeah.
how we think, so that's really good.
Absolutely. So for me, yeah, so for me, peace is where my joy
Yay, that's
comes from.
great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Washington, for coming on Journey to Joy Live. We can find you at Dr. Nicole Psych on LinkedIn. Not on LinkedIn, Instagram. You are on
You can
LinkedIn.
find me Instagram,
Right.
LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want to go. That's my handle. Dr. Nicole's like, that's where I am.
Well, there you go. So I was right. And then you have your own podcast, the Black Woman's
I
Confidant podcast. How often
do.
do you do yours? How often can we find it?
My episodes come out every 2 weeks.
Oh, nice. Good, good.
Every 2 weeks, and Dr. Joy is going to be on my
Yes, on
podcast.
Friday.
She's gonna be on. Her episode will be out. I will tell you when. I'm not sure when, but it'll. I don't do mine live, but it will
Oh,
come
right, we're
out.
recording on
And
Friday.
yes, we're recording on Friday, and it's been it's a labor of love. Podcasting
I love it.
is a
Yeah.
labor of love. I've gone through a rebranding. My name of my podcast didn't used to be the Black Woman's Confidant. It used to be something else, and
Gotcha. Well, you doing your thing.
it's just sometimes we have to do what we need to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and I look forward to having you on the Black Woman's Confidant, and we'll make sure everybody knows when that airs.
Hey, thank you. This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.drenjoylife.com to request a consultation. I accept Aetna for Georgia residents, and out-of-pocket services are available for others. I'm licensed in Georgia, Florida, Michigan, Tennessee, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Illinois, Virginia, and Minnesota. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoyno on Amazon for $39.08 to help you on your wellness journey. And remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, may you continue to transform challenges into joy.